Good morning, class. Let's start with your senior class computer science subject today. Your first chapter is just the revision of previous class. As you can see on the screen, the name of the chapter is Review of Class 11th. In this chapter, we will read about Introduction to Programming in C language and some of the desktop publishing tools that we have learned about in the previous class. Let's start with your topic 1.0 Introduction to Programming in C Language. C is a general purpose structured programming language developed at Bell Laboratories, USA by Dennis Ritchie. As we know, C is a middle level language and it can be used for designing both system softwares and application program development tools. We have also learned about including header files and various compiler directives. Compiler directives such as define and include are special instructions to compile to help it compile a program. They do not end with a semicolon. The sign hash of the compiler directive must appear in the first column of the line. Got it? We have also seen \n as an escape sequence, like here \n, \t, \a, \b. We have often used \n many times. This is used to display our result in the next line character, as you can say. What about data types? We have often used char, int, float, and void. We use char for character to assign a character value. We use int for integer for numeric entry and float. This table is clearly giving us the range and the memory used by different data type. Character is using 8 bits of memory, integer is using 16 bits of memory, and float 32. And the bottom is void. Void means an empty value, null. Now let's see an example on your next page. To get a GR from code GR1055, we use \c. Please note star is a misprint in this page. On this page, we don't need to use $C, just %C, twice as shown in the following program. We start with including standard input output header file stdio.h, and then we start with the main program, and we have assigned an integer data type number. We are asking from number %c, and then %d, and then we're asking for a number from user. When we compile and run the program, on screen it will show enter code number hyphen first two characters non-numeric. So the first two characters should be non-numeric. It only means an alphabet character type, GR. That is why we used %C. Then we enter numerics GR1055. When we press enter, it will show only 1055. The first two digits are suppressed. Remember an escape sequence? Here it is working on this line. Clear? We have known about, we do know about using operators such as arithmetic operators, relational operators, etc. For example, let's go to next page, page number 4, and we see we are assigning value a and we are saying just add 1 to it. That is, a is equal to, the value of a is assigned to value a plus 1. We are assigning plus 1 variable to the original value. Then what about flow of the control, or say control flow of the program? Why do we use it in a different situation? We use it for these three, to meet these three basic necessities. First, skipping some segments of the program. Second, executing one segment out of two. Third, executing a segment repeatedly either for a given number of times or till some conditions are met. So we say the control statement defines the order of execution of the program statements. There are three types of control statements. First, conditional, looping, and unconditional control statements. If, if else, if else if, and switch. We can see the use of if in the following example. Similarly, we have to use a standard input output header file. We have to define it. We start with our program main. Please notice we are using void in front of main. This means the program is not returning any value. Then we are inputting data type num, integer. We are using command printf, enter the number. So this will display on the screen. In the next line we are using scanf and we're using %d. Why do we use %d? To use for integer data type. Then we are asking a number. Here is a loop. Here is a condition. If the value we have entered, number less than 0, if the value is less than 0, the output should be number is negative. If the value is greater than the value of 0, then the number is positive. Here is an output. When you compile and run the program, if the user input the value greater than 0, that is 5, in this situation the number is positive. And the next situation, the next condition, the user is inputting the value -90. So it's less than 0, the condition is met, the number is negative. This program is checking whether the given number is less than 0 or not. Then how do we use loops? Here, looping is set of statements that are repeated or executed as long as certain logical condition is true. In this example, we will see define directive used in a different way and a loop, a while loop. We have used define directive to include header file. We have used define directive to give value capital N 100 and A 2. Now, as we know, C is a case sensitive language. When we use capital or lower character sets, they are of a different value. Then we start our program and decide to have an integer data type, and then we say a, the value of a is equal to capital A. Now the condition is while a, the value of a is less than capital N, we should print percentage d, which value? A is equal to a multiplied by a, and then the program should not return a value, return 0. The output would be 4, 16 and 265. Clear? Now let's start with arrays. As we know, an array is a data structure used to store collection of similar values under a given name. They are also called subscripted variables. Here is an syntax. Data type, it can be int character, and then we use array name, it can be A, B, C, any. Then we use square brackets to enter the number of elements in an array. We have also studied in our last class how to enter and access the values of arrays in single dimension and two-dimensional arrays. In two-dimensional arrays there is something different. We've used two square brackets, one for rows and one for columns. Now, where the rows represent the number of elements possessed in subscript 1 and the column represents the number of elements possessed in the subscript 2. Here we see this in an example. We start by including a header file. We start with main function. Then we are inputting an integer data type of two-dimensional arrays x 5 by 5. Now the 5 is a row and then next 5 is column. Inputting values, 5 values each. Then second line is saying int sum1 is equal to 0. We are initiating value of sum1 0 and sum2 0, and then we are also assigning two new variables m and n, and we are deciding a condition for. Then there is also a nested loop. A nested loop is a loop within a loop. Until the condition is met, it's not going to get out. The program will run in a certain flow. This is the best example of nested loops. You can go through the program. Let's see an output. Now, see the number of rows and columns, how the value goes. 15, 50, 34, 34 rows and columns. And the end is total of elements with even subscript is 257. Total elements with first odd subscript is 256. There are few more examples of C programs to print number 5 times, number 4 times, and number 3 times, and so on. Remove the errors in following programs. We need to remove an error. Program exchanges the value of two variables. Now, the last page is Adobe Photoshop. We have studied that Adobe Photoshop is an example of desktop publishing. We can use Adobe Photoshop in graphics and different categories of text editing as well. We can use it for image resolution. Color mode defines the color of each pixel. The file format is the way the file data is represented and saved. This is basically an example of how in different ways we use desktop publishing. You can use it to define graphics or append graphics or images, color modes, and file formats, etc. etc. This is the end of your first chapter. If you have any questions or doubts, please let me know. Watch this video very carefully and please subscribe so you won't miss any more functions, such as new C programs that I'm going to be editing next. Have a nice day.